Alright, okay. Why is the hair in my face? Okay. I am back after 4 months of like school craziness and all that stuff. I am finally back to film a video for you guys. I am really excited to be filming this one because it is about my operations when I was 12, 16, and 17. And I've wanted to film this video for a while, and now that I have the information that I've gathered and everything, I can't wait to speak on it and speak on my experience. And the purpose of this video is to really help anybody out who may have to have procedures done similar to mine, maybe who may just be having an operation that's completely different from mine. Maybe if I can speak on my own experience, I can help someone feel less afraid or help someone feel less alone or overwhelmed about the medical things that may be happening to you. Or I just want you guys to feel comfort from my videos, and I hope that speaking on my own experience with surgeries and things like this, that I can help people further understand and feel better about what may be happening in their own life, if they can relate at all, or if they can't relate, maybe it can help someone today. So yeah, before I start, I just want to give a special shout out to Dr. David Scher over at Hospital for Special Surgery. He was kind enough to speak with me on the phone about my procedures and help me have an understanding of what I went through at that time and how it helped me further my life, and how it was really, really good for me to have all these operations that I had when I was younger. So thank you, Dr. Scher, for your kindness and for your patience and for everything you have done for my life. I really, really appreciate you. So let's get started. I'm really excited about this today, obviously. But so I have a little notebook with all my notes that I took about my surgeries when I was on the phone with Dr. Scher, and I'm going to be glancing down, reading them at times, so I'm sorry if I'm not looking at the camera. It's really just because I want to get all the information right for the viewers and for those of you that may feel inclined to share this and stuff like that. So yeah. So I'm going to be speaking about my first surgery that I had when I was 12. It was in 2010. I went to Hospital for Special Surgery with the concern that my left side, my hamstrings, which are the muscles behind your knee, and my Achilles, which is the muscle in your ankle, were really tight. And I also had an inward twist of my hip, which is called a anteversion. I also have my medical notes on my phone that I'm going to be glancing at also, just because, again, I want to get everything right for you guys. So, my trusty notes today. And so, as I was saying, my hip was twisted inward, and it's a femoral anteversion was the word, was that I had a hip rotation. So that's the medical term. And anteversion describes the amount of twist that was in my hip. It was twisted inward about 20 degrees. And my tibia, which is tibia, if you didn't hear my pronunciation correctly, I felt like I said that word weird. My tibia, which is the lower bone, like by my knee and down, I believe, it was twisted outward. And I had the external tibial torsion, and so like part of it was twisted in, part of it was twisted outward, which made my ankle function like less sufficient. And I also had knee pain at the time, and my left foot was also turned inward, so I had a severely twisted leg. I think that would, at least for my understanding, with taking away from the medical terms that can be hard for me and like others to understand. I had a really twisted leg because of the way I grew with my cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy can really look a lot of different ways. As Dr. Schur said, it's heterogeneous, so it looks a lot of different ways. And as I've said in other videos, like every case of CP is different. And mine just involved a lot of twisting of my left leg. So moving on, the gait analysis determines what treatment is best for you and what procedures would be best for your life, like in a surgery, if the doctors move forward. And so I had a gait analysis, which is an analyzation of a human body where they put like little stickers all over you, and it monitors your joint movement and your gross motor skills and your not your fine motor skills, but your gross motor skills. And the gait analysis measures how people walk, and it helps make decisions for your medical journey in operations and things like that. And they do it by having special cameras that a lot of like video games are made from, special effects in movies, where the digital motion capture devices collect data of how the markers that are placed on the person's body move through space, and it graphs out the movement of your joints. So it was like really weird for me, especially when I was like younger, like 12. I remember I hated getting the gait analysis done. I also had one when I was 8 years old for my first surgery, and I just remember just hating it. I was like, what the heck is this? Like, I don't want people touching me. I don't want people putting stickers on me. And it just wasn't a fun experience, but it really helped me grow up as a person, and it really helped me mature. And it was something that I knew I couldn't not tolerate, you know. I couldn't make a big stink about it. I just had to do it because it was something that was going to benefit me in the long run and better my life. And I remember, so this is fast forwarding to my surgery my sophomore year. I had to get a gait analysis before that one too, and they put a wire in one of the muscles in my front of my left leg, and they had to inject it. And I just remember it being a really horrible experience. It was really scary for me, and it was just something that was like severely uncomfortable at the time. But you know, I sat through it and I did it, and it helped me grow. It's something that like is always gonna be in my mind and be like, yeah, that sucked. But it was something that I had to sit through and just breathe through. And it was something that really I can look back on, like the experience with not liking being touched with gait analysis and stuff, and take that into other experiences that I may be experiencing as I get older, and understand that there are situations that you're going to have to go through that are not always going to be comfortable for you, but are going to be an element of growth for you, that you are going to learn how to tolerate it and be okay with being uncomfortable, because a uncomfortable feeling that you may have because of something, maybe like a different medical surgery, that you're going to have to do uncomfortable things for, that you just don't like. It's going to help you grow and help you mature, and really set the stage for other experiences that you may have, that you can take your courage and your bravery from. At least from my gait analysis, I was able to realize, like, wow, it was really uncomfortable for me that I could do, and it helped me grow stronger and bring that courage that I had in those moments to other parts of my life now. So yeah, the gait analysis, looking back, even though I hated those, that's really cool that you can do that. with technology and stuff. So the gait analysis really determined how Dr. Scher was going to proceed and how he was going to help me most. And my first surgery, the one in 2010 when I was 12, I only had my hamstrings and my foot position changed. And right leg, I had a percutaneous hamstring lengthening, which means that there was no incision on that side of the leg. They didn't have to open the flesh and have stitches or anything, so it was a minor lengthening. I didn't even know that that was possible. I thought that was really cool. Listening to the fact that it was percutaneous was really, really interesting for me. I forgot about that. And on my left side for this surgery, I had all of 3 of my hamstrings lengthened, and I had my calf muscle lengthened, and the there's a way to say it, and I think I'm going to say it wrong. The tibialis, to help make my foot tibialis. Did I say it right? I think so. Before my camera cut off. Let me get my notes. Hold on. Alrighty. Here we go. Tibialis. So I was saying how my foot needed to be flat because due to the cerebral palsy making my muscles tight, it made my foot have like an upper thing going on where the ball of my foot and my toes would be on the floor. So my hand, the front of my hand is the front of my foot, and the back of my hand is the back of my foot. So what my foot used to look like, let me try to straighten my hand out. This is my left hand. So yeah, okay. So my foot kind of looked like this, where my what am I doing? Where my heel was off the ground always when I would walk, and this tibial, what the heck? I'm losing my words. The tibialis needed to be lengthened so it could keep my foot flat. So what they did, they split the tibialis and they took half of the tendon to the outside of my foot, and they left the other half like where it was, basically to create like a half and half pull, so my foot would be centered and not like this anymore. So I wouldn't have to like get my heel off the ground, that I could just walk with a foot that wasn't prone to falling. Oh my god, that's such a weird sentence. Where I was no longer prone to falling as much as I had before the surgery. Now we are gonna move on to... Oh, okay. So at the time of the surgery, we identified that I had the rotation happening with my tibia and my hip, and we decided to leave it and work on it later, which was the best decision for me, and I'm going to go into that now. So again, in 2012, I see Dr. Scher, and we do, well, the surgeons do a gait analysis on me, and it is seen that the rotations in my hip and my tibia did not change at all. They stayed the same, and then that I also had a stiff knee gain, which is, I'm going to do my best to explain it without looking at the paper. A stiff knee gain was when I was like moving my leg through the air walking, and due to my quadricep muscle firing at like the incorrect time, my knee would not bend when I would walk. And because of my quadricep incorrectly working, they wanted to change that, and I had a rectus femoris transfer, which was going to eliminate the stiff knee gain that I had acquired in years' time. And that is so cool to think about. I was on the phone with Dr. Sher the other day just listening to this, and I was like, wow, I don't even remember having a leg like that. And to think that surgeon's technology and the surgeon's brain could help someone improve a walking gait so much is amazing, and it was just really, really cool. But so I also was identified to have a stiff knee gait. So we worked on for the surgery when I was 16, so this was in 2014. I had a left hip proximal osteotomy, which was going to not have my hip be turned inward anymore. It was going to eliminate the inward rotation that I had in my hip. And I also had my tibia and ankle rotated inward because they originally were rotated outward, and this eliminated the drastic twist that my leg had because of the way I grew into my cerebral palsy as I had gotten older. So the rotations involved a complete breaking of the bones, and they had to be reset with plates, and they were metal. They were in my body for a year. So the surgery I had when I was 17 was to take the plates out because I no longer needed them because they had set the bones and the bones had healed. And then I also had my abductor muscles, which is the muscle like right outside the groin, and the Achilles muscles lengthened at the time, and the rectus femoris transfer that I had spoken about, which was associated with my stiff knee gait. And then that is it, guys. That is all of my surgical history. So, my reflection on my surgeries as a whole, I'm going to do another video on later on. I definitely want to touch on the experience with the faculty in my rehabilitation process, the hospital when I had to stay over, because the people I met during that period of time were magical and were amazing, and they're part of the reason why I am pursuing music therapy, because they inspired me to want to help people in a way that I could. And I am so grateful to Dr. Sher and all the nurses that helped me and took care of me when I needed it, because I look back on my years that I had the surgeries done and I had the rehabilitation to do, and I just think about how far I have come and how beautiful that is to me, because it also sets a stone for me that I've come so far from one particular situation that I can come far from another hard time. And that can be the same for you, is that you can always come back from something that may be hard for you to go through, and that you can always reflect on your hard times and see that if you're going through another hard time, that you've been through one before, and that it's okay to have gone through a hard time, and that it is okay to be going through a hard time, but you're going to make it through the hard times that you have. So I'm very grateful that my surgical experiences and my rehabilitation experiences have taught me that. And yeah, I hope you guys find these videos like sciencey, cool, informative, and all that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for this wonderful year of opening your eyes to listening to me talk about my cerebral palsy and talk about my experiences as a young woman with a disability. It is truly a pleasure to make these videos, and I am so happy that I started this project this year, and I cannot wait for 2019 to put more videos out. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.